Hello everybody and welcome back to the Son of the Morning Comics channel. Gonna do another indie review here. We're looking at MANOWAR #1 from Valiant Comics by Dennis Hallam, Emilio Laso, Ruth Redman, and Hassan Otsman Elahu. Sorry about that. If I butchered that, it was not intentional. So, it's a very fun book. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the art. I really enjoyed the coloring, but there was something that kind of bothered me about it. Couldn't really put my finger on it at first, but I think that I know that the problem is with editing. There's too much going on in this one book, so nevertheless, let's get into it here. It explains that the MANOWAR was a 5th century Visigoth warrior prince that was he was abducted by aliens. He escaped from them. He found the Shanakara suit, which, gave him his superpowers, and Eric is his name, his superpowers, and, the rest, they say, is history. So, story starts out with just, like I said, the beautiful scene here. In space, there's this alien ship that's crashing down towards Earth. So, Eric gets in there and he gets control of the ship, and he unfortunately lands it on a freeway, which it doesn't work out too great, but hey, he saved the day, right? So, one thing that I do really like about this story is the dialogue between Eric and the suit. The whole time they're talking to each other, and the suit is hilarious. I like at this point he says, "I am not a podcast Visigoth." He's just very, and he said, "It's not my job to keep you amused." Just funny stuff that I enjoy. So he saves the city. And we can see something over here brewing that's got some sinister look to it. This guy doesn't look like he's too happy. Almost looks like he may end up being a foe. We'll find out. At any rate, this is Eric. He's back in Harlem and he's playing basketball. Now, this is like I said, I think that some of the dialogue is absolutely hilarious that's coming from the suit. He doesn't know what basketball is. He asks, what is basketball? So, basketball is a team sport in which two teams, most commonly of 5 players, each compete with the primary objective of shooting a basketball through the defender's hoop. And then he makes the comment here, he also adds, it was created by a mustachioed man with a peach basket. A Canadian mustachioed man, I will point out, James Naismith. Had to, sorry. Then I also like here, basketball was popularized globally 100 years later by a magician, a bird, and a man named Michael. Now, you just try to tell me that comics aren't geared towards adult males with that little blurb there, because who is it? How old would you have to be to know that they're referring to Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan? Magic Johnson retired when I was like 10 years old. This is like 30 years ago almost. Michael Jordan retired at least 20 years ago. That's what I'm saying. At any rate, the suit's trying to tell him how to do moves. Ultimately lets him know that the goal is to put the ball through the hoop, which he does. Now, or which he tries, and he says it did not go through the hoop. No, it didn't. So like I said, very funny stuff. And then this one of the kids' mums shows up. She is not happy. She does not like Eric. She doesn't like him coming around. She makes that perfectly clear. And even though, like I said, I really like the dialogue between Eric and the suit, there's just so much of it, and there's so much of it going on that it does distract a little bit. At any rate, he takes off from there because here, we'll see here. The suit mentions it to him that he's gonna in this day and age, not the 5th or 6th century, whatever he's from. He's gonna need money even for food, and he says, "Oh yeah," and then he jumps up and he goes to Canada. Where in Canada, I'm not sure, but so he goes and he gets naked and kills an animal, and then he goes to eat it, and he's sharing it with the people. I guess he has brought this animal back home with him. Now, then the suit tells him there's a problem, there's a rocket coming, he's got to go get it. Now, see, this is where I'm confused a little bit too. So, like, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be in New York. He just jumped off to Canada to go hunting. And now that's saying that this rocket is going over the Hudson Bay. Now, are they referring to, like, the Hudson River, or are they referring to the Hudson Bay? Because the Hudson Bay is, like, northern Canada, and that I think that they're referring... I don't know. Maybe it's also called the Hudson Bay in New York. I don't know. I'm confused. All I'm saying is I'm a little confused by all of that. Anyway, he gets the rocket and gets it out of the way, but it wasn't actually an attack. It was more of a demonstration here. So I guess he's sort of put a damper on that demonstration, heads back home, sees the kid that he likes there. His mom's car is being driven off like crazy somewhere. So he goes and he gets in the way. He crashes down, gets the car and throws it into the river or something like that. And then the police obviously don't like that too much, but Desmond is the kid's name. He's not pleased that it was Desmond, gets Desmond out of there. He takes back home, assuming that the mom who hates him is gonna freak out, and she doesn't, and in fact invites him to stay in their house. He says that it's not necessary. The son says, don't argue. Anything she says while she's walking away, it's already a done deal. So then, see, this is, to me, we don't need any of this stuff here. There's nothing wrong with it. He's trying to fix the car for the mom, but whatever the case may be, he gets another call that there's trouble, in Ukraine. He's got to go do his superhero thing. So he goes off to the Ukraine, and they're trying to figure out who are the bad guys. They can't figure it out, so he just disarms everybody, at which point we have this guy who's saying, "Simmer down, Visigoth," and he's shocked. Visigoth, the war's over, you lose. And of course, this guy looks familiar from... Dun, 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 dun. Awesome viewing when you do this, I know. Kind of looks familiar from there, doesn't he? So, Exo Manowar's in trouble. Like I said, I did enjoy this book, but it does suffer from a lack of editing. Editing is so important when it comes to comics. This could be a great comic. Editing, editing, editing. That's all I can say. Thank you for joining me here on the Son of the Morning Comics channel. If you like this kind of content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. hit the notification bell, leave some comments, visit me over on Twitter at sonofthemorning7, and have yourself a wonderful day.